Okay, we're going to be doing some graphing. This one's graphing a cubic function of the form y equals a x cubed. So it's just got one term. It's got the x cubed. That makes it a cubic. If it had been an x squared, it would have been a quadratic. But it's an x cubed. And then the a is just the coefficient in front. It's the 7/4. And I'll just tell you right now that cubic equations kind of have an SE shape to them. And this bend right here can be really pronounced like that, or it can be very short like that. Just depends. Anyway, it says to graph the equation, first plot 5 points on the graph, 1 point with x is equal to 0, 2 points with negative x values, and 2 points with positive x values. All right, I'm gonna make myself a little chart here. All right, there's my 5. And first it says 1 with point of x is equal to 0. There you go. 2 points with negative values. Now you can pick any negative value that you want. However, when you put it in here for x, you're going to have to cube it, and then you're going to have to multiply times 7/4. I would choose wisely. I think -1, if I stick -1 in there, I'm going to end up with a fraction. Because -1 cubed is -1, and -1 times 7/4 is going to be a -7/4. I would rather not graph fractions. I mean, you can, which I can try to show you in a minute, but if I were to choose -2 instead, that's going to work in my favor. Because -2 cubed is -8, and then 4 will cancel into that. My graph goes from 0 to 16, it looks like. Oh, Lord. If I use 3, 4 doesn't go into 3. 4 cubed. 7, no, that's going to be too big. Okay, well, I got no choice but to go with a fractional answer. Well, thank you very much. All right. I'm going to have to go with -1 and -2. And then it says, and 2 points with positive values. So I'm going to have to go with +1 and +2. Now, this is where the formula comes in, or the function, the equation. Your y coordinate is going to equal 7/4 times whatever x cubed is. So I'm going to have to take 7/4 times 0 cubed. Well, 0 cubed is 0, and 0 times 7/4 is 0. So my first point is at 0, 0, which would be right there. That's also known as the origin. For the next one, it's going to be 7/4 times -2 cubed. All right, that's going to be 7/4 times -2 times -2 times -2 is -8, or -8 over 1. And then I can cross cancel my 4 into my 8 twice, and that's going to give me +7 times a -2, a -14, which just barely makes it onto my graph. So my next point is at -2, -14. So I'm going to go 2 to the left and down 14 right there. And then the next one's a -1. This is going to be 7/4 times -1 cubed. Well, that's going to be 7/4 times -1 times -1 times -1 is -1. And 7/4 times -1 is -7/4, also known as -1 1 3/4. Now if I'm doing this by hand, I get to use what they call the old eyeball method. I'm gonna go -1 to the left, which would be halfway in between, and then down 1 3/4, which puts me right about there-ish. That looks pretty good-ish to me-ish. And now I'm gonna go with the positive one. This is gonna be 7/4 times +1 cubed. Well, 1 cubed is 1, and 1 times 7/4 is 7/4. So this will be +1 3/4. So when x is 1, so you're going to go 1 to the right, and then up 1 3/4, which would be right about there-ish. And then the last one is 7/4 times 2 cubed. So that's 7/4 times 8, or 8/1. And then of course the 4 cancels into the 8 twice, and I'm left with 14. So go over to 2 and up to 14. And then you can see that the graph, I'll use an orange pen to connect it here. It's gonna come down, it's gonna curve like this and curve like that. And that's my graph. Now, in order to do this in Alex, I've got Alex on my computer here, so I'm going to attempt to move my phone and videotape it as I do it on my laptop. So let's move this. Well, I need to be up here. I'm gonna try to hold it with my hand. This should be fun. Okay, you are going to click on, we're doing a curve, so click on that. And then it says, make sure to plot 5 points before graphing the function. Oh, okay, whatever. So I need to plot a point. I need to go into 0, 0. Okay. 0, 0, and then 2, 14 is a good point, and -2, -14 was a good point. Okay, so there you can see I got all 3 of those points, but I need all 5. Unfortunately, it's impossible to get an exact answer here using this pencil. So I'm going to click on this little icon, and it actually tells you or gives you the option to type in an ordered pair with a fraction. And my ordered pair, let's see, my fractional one was -1, -7/4. So I'll type in -1, scroll over, and negative, and I'll just hit this, and I'll just use the improper fraction of 7/4. And then I'm gonna hit plot point. Plot point. Did it plot it? Oh yeah, it did, it's right there. Can you see it? It's right there. Okay, and then I got the other one, which was +1, +7/4. Oh wait, fraction. Sorry if I'm bouncing my hand around it. I didn't plan this out very well. 7/4. And then plot that point. Oh, and I can already see it's showing up right there. Plot. Please film. Oh, sorry, did it a second time. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. And now you hit this thing and la la, there it is. And then I'm gonna hit check my answer just to verify that I've done it right, and it says correct. Woohoo! All right, well that was fun. I hope you can see it okay.